Matthias, thank you so much for having us here at the FFIE. I don't even know what to call it. I mean, Research and Development Center. This place is unreal.
Yeah, it is unreal since 2015. We set it up. So this is basically the first area which has been completely constructed. It's our design studio. So on one hand, all the vehicles we have developed, they're created here. And in addition, we have our trim shop here where we do all the leather trimming and all the development of our interiors. So
Nice.
yeah, this is more or less the birthplace of the company and the car.
I was blown away. We had a tour by Larry, I believe is his name. And I mean, I got to see stuff I've never seen before that I never even seen online too. I mean, you guys, it's very clear you've been very hard at work.
Yeah, that's true.
So I have some questions here. I know that there's some questions that you may not be able to answer. A lot of them came from social media, from our subreddit, the FFIE subreddit. And I know that there was ones there that we had talked about that you weren't able to touch on, but there's some quite interesting questions here for you. The first one, how will the vote for billions in dilution, the sale of new shares, affect the stock price and listing requirements? What concrete steps can be taken prior to this to align investor demand with the company's strategy for new investment?
So first, without shares, we are not able to raise funds. We need funds to run the operation. We need funds to get our supply chain protected and get material coming into the company that we are able to build cars.
So there's no shares available.
We are running out of shares.
Right.
With the cash requirements we have to run the continuous operation. So this is number one. The only access to capital at the moment is the capital market, as we are not in a continuous operation yet, which allows us to go for cash flow financing through our revenue. So we need to achieve the first step, having a continuous manufacturing with high enough volume, with high enough revenues to allow banks to give us the money to run the operation. Once we achieve that, we don't need shares just for our day-to-day business. So when we want to expand the operation, when we want to expand the company, then again it goes into having shares to attract investors coming in. And they are coming in and giving and asking for shares when they give us money. So it's a normal mechanism. It is dilutive, but at the end, the company value raises through the results we are able to create with the shares we are providing to investors. And with this, we get to a win-win situation for all investors.
I know that there was a lot of confusion amongst retail investors. I've seen it firsthand on social media regarding the dilution. People thought that these shares were going to immediately be thrown out to the public, and that's not so.
No, absolutely not. So we are looking for partnerships here in the US. So once we have these targets, then it becomes a negotiation between a potential investor and us about the number of shares we are providing and the amount of money we are getting.
Gotcha.
So it's very selected and very cautiously handled.
That's good. Is there some sort of timeline behind when that will happen following the reverse stock split?
You know, we need enough shares to have a long enough period to cover. Normally you get your shares approved, you always get your shares approved by a shareholder meeting. Normally you run an annual shareholder meeting instead of special shareholder meetings. So we are looking to get into a position that the number of shares is sufficient to get us to the next step, to a continuation, and that we don't need to have a special shareholder meeting on one hand, and with that we are getting more money when we need to access funds for our operation. So that's the target. So it's not dumping shares and turning it into cheap money.
There's not a plan as far as like a timeline is concerned following the reverse stock split?
Not exactly. So basically, we are looking to get funding in the UAE.
Right.
What we need on shares to support that, we will take out of the share pool. Then we are looking into next round of financing to have the continuous growth. So I guess we are looking into timelines like short term, right after the reverse stock split. And I'm really looking to get little money. When you get a lot of money, it's very easy to lose control what you do with this money. So I want to have little money and manage it very well, achieve the next step.
Okay, makes sense. Very good. Question number 2, can you share any recent developments within the company?
So the recent developments we have executed is basically taking a change, and it's a really big change, going from a company who is developing and launching a car into a company which is then starting to produce and sell a car. So this paradigm shift is happening in the company at the moment. It would be not really true to say that we finished this change already, so we are in the process of this change. That goes along with adjusting the organization, getting cost control into place, and then focusing on longevity instead of short-term gains. So this is a process which happens in the company, and we have successfully reduced our run rate and monthly cash flow to support a continuation. Then we managed to carry on with building cars. We have our co-creation program, which is extremely beneficial to get the quality of the car to the level you expect when you look into a product in the range of $300,000. This continuation is a very slow process. So from that perspective, we are not able to produce hundreds of cars in a month. So we go step by step and we learn to increase the quality. And this is what is happening right at the moment. We are planning to deliver the next car, hopefully in July. If not in July, then very early in August, and then continue with the next vehicles to build.
Okay. This question isn't on my sheet, but it's to kind of piggyback what we were talking about right now with the $300,000 FF91. I'm just learning that there is going to be an entry-level FF91 that's going to be priced in the $130,000 range.
Yeah, that was always the plan. So basically, we started with our Futurist 2.0 Alliance, and then there was the plan to get the cost down. In parallel, also decrease the MSRP. So, and the product family FF91 starts somewhere in the range of 130, 139, and goes up to the 309,000, or potentially even higher when we look into customization and personalization of the vehicle. You know, we are not really a car company. So what we are, the product we put together is basically using the vehicle as a basis. So it's more about what you experience in the car, the abilities you have. We have a connectivity which allows us that you have a coverage wherever you're going. When one carrier drops out, the next carrier is able to jump in. You can be connected the whole time. So what we developed is basically saying we offer you 25 hours because your commute time is in the same way useful, and you're not losing time by spending it in the car. So you can be entertained, you can stay connected, you can work, you can video conference. This is one element. The next element is, you know, it's all about convenience. And what we have put together with our software-driven car is at the end something which is adapting to you. So the car starts learning you better and better, and it evolves. It's not necessarily there at the moment because it takes time to learn like a human being. It's just a question of time. So over time, the car will learn more and more on your preferences and will adapt to you and will offer you, let's say, like a concierge service, that you are basically embedded into something which helps you to have an easier and more joyful life.
That's what AI is all about. So AI machine learning.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, very good. Can we know a bit more about FFIE's plans in the UAE? Any updates there?
So some of them I can share. Some of them, unfortunately, you have to wait until we are able to disclose it publicly. We are in contact with the organizations in the UAE. So one is family offices. On the other hand, it's technology platforms to start and set up an operation in the United Arab Emirates. So we would use the benefits of the UAE to set up operations there, which allows us to use local sources, local resources, the knowledge, the experience, the expertise, and we would grow that gradually. So for that reason, we are out looking for investments. And Potentially, we will be able to communicate pretty soon that we go ahead and establish our first operations. We have already licensed in Dubai a sales operation. So we will look into expand that and spread our wings to start flying in the UAE.
So that doesn't necessarily mean these cars being shipped to the UAE. It means building cars in the UAE.
This is my long-term vision. Yeah. So basically, it needs to be supported by funding. For
Right.
sure, yeah. But at the end, you have children, I have grandchildren. We need to build something. This is not reducing the carbon footprint. The carbon footprint is basically looking for solutions where you can act locally and use the global network to support the local activities. So
Right.
that's my personal opinion, that we need to look to reduce logistics as much as possible. And from that perspective, I think we need to look what is possible in the UAE. But what I have seen so far, there's a lot of possibility, and there's a lot of desire to change the nation going into a different direction, being more environmental friendly. And from that perspective, I think it fits very much to what we are aiming for as FF.
See, I didn't know that the UAE didn't have many EVs. So it seems like a no-brainer taking that technology over there. I mean, people love their cars there.
Yeah.
And I know that they're about their environment just as much as we are.
That's basically absolutely correct.
Right.
They're aiming to look into moving away from an oil-supported infrastructure and environment into something and into an industry which is more future-oriented. So there's a
Right.
strong development in renewable energies, and there's also a strong development into artificial intelligence. All of that fits very well to FF, and
Right.
also a desire to grow a clean transportation system,
Right.
which is on one hand landborne transportation, seaborne transportation, but also airborne transportation.
Question number 4. Why are we considering this bridge strategy, and when can we expect an affordable EV?
You know, I described to you what is about with our product. So our product is not necessarily the car. The car is the foundation, and then what we're putting into the car is actually what is the key element of Faraday Future. When we are talking about a car which is more affordable than a 911, the best way to do it is in a corporation. Looking for a corporation and looking for somebody who is able to donate technology from a hardware perspective, that we can put our technology from a software perspective on top of it. So this is all what we are talking about when we're looking into this bridge strategy.
Okay.
There's no point in having 50 competing electric vehicle companies putting money into developing a hardware platform to drive around. So the individualization comes through the vehicle integration, which is always an element which needs to come from FF. So we are looking into this kind of potential cooperations to be then able to provide a more affordable car, which could start in every price range depending on the vehicle we are looking for to cooperate with.
I was just speaking with YTG concerning the bridge strategy as well, and he had mentioned that he is going to openly discuss the bridge strategy and his plans on July 20th on the Investor Day.
As much as we can share next week, we will do, definitely. That will not be the final communication about it. So,
But there'll be more information on it.
yes,
much more
there's a continuous development in that direction. And as we are able to communicate about it, we will talk about it, allow the community to be able to participate in our progress.
Investor Day, you're calling it, right?
Yeah, Investor Community Day. So basically, you know, at the end, what we need is we need shareholders with a big heart. We don't need shareholders who are out there to make quick money. It's about really understanding what we plan to do, looking into the values which are driving us, getting in contact with our people, with our FF community, believe in the same way and support us going forward. So from that perspective, we want to be as open as we can be as a public company.
I think it's really important as a retail investor And that's why it's great to come here during a community day like that and get a feel for these cars, see them in person. It's quite captivating. I mean, it blew me away from the technology, the AI technology, just seeing all the work that goes into the last 10 years that have gone into making these magnificent cars. So I think that's really awesome that you're reaching out to the community and allowing them to be here with you guys on a day. Question number 5. What technology or patents does Faraday Future possess that sets them apart from other EV manufacturers? I'm just going to kind of butt in here. You got to come and see for yourself. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I think let's start with the basics. So we focused very much developing an architecture instead of a vehicle. An architecture which allows us to derive different models, different vehicles in a very short and easy way to bring them to market. So this is one underlying catalog of patents we have. Then we focus very much on the development of our drivetrain, our propulsion system, so battery system as well as the drive units. And then we come to, let's say the secret sauce. So you spoke with YT. His background is internet and also consumer electronics. So from that perspective, a big driver into our technology development was providing the hardware which allows you to forget your phone. So get the car as connected and as user-friendly and easy to use as a phone, that when you get into the car, the vehicle is able to recognize you, the vehicle is able to connect to all your social network, to your business network, without you even taking a phone out of your pocket. I wouldn't say that we are there yet, but this is the direction we want to go. From that perspective, we focus also very much on creating the necessary intellectual property to support that. So there's a lot of intellectual property and technology development which went into basically, let's say, the consumer electronics element of the vehicle. And then, in the same way as we have a hardware architecture, we need to have a software and technology architecture. And this is in the same way covered through intellectual property, giving us a base layer of software, like an embedded software, then an operating system like you have it on a phone, and then on top of that, an intelligent application layer, which provides you all the different goodies in the car you enjoy when you're using it. And the majority of our patents, and that's a combination of our China team as well as our US team, the majority of them is laying in the technology side. So basically software and the use of the software. We had, once we had more than 1,000 patents, we used some 660 patents to get it into the car. So they are still in our possession. And the others we let go for the public because we didn't maintain from a cost perspective.
It's a lot of patents you still own, though.
Yeah. Once we had an evaluation about our patent portfolio, and basically the feedback which came from the consulting company assessing it is that our patent power is comparable with other very well-named OEMs and EV startups. So we are on par or even better.
Oh, wow. So good that people are stealing them.
Yeah.
We won't talk about that.
There's basically, if talking about stealing, we have shown our FF91 in 2017, so 7 years ago, at the Consumer Electronics Show. And we shared all the features we planned to put in the car. So, and now if you go into competitive vehicles and look what kind of features they have in there.
They copied you guys.
Not necessarily copied, but basically
inspired.
Being inspired.
Okay.
By what we.
They copied. Sorry. This is a question that you don't have to answer if you don't feel comfortable, but it was very big amongst retail investors. Was the reason for the late 10Q?
The late 10Q is a direct follow of being late with the 10K. We were struggling to get our 10K filed on time, which was due to the fact that we had personnel changes in the company, in the organization. And On the other hand, it's also a question of money. We have to pay a lot of money to consultants to help us to get our filing together. This coincidence of elements, losing talent, having a change in the responsibility of our CEO, in combination with leading to a situation that we were not able to file the 10K on time. You have a time window, I think 10K filing is mid-April, and then 10Q filing is mid-May. So there's only a very short period. So not being able to file 10K on time automatically was pushing us into a situation not being able to file the 10Q. So we are in a follow-up to get that done. The teams are working well. We had to change our audit firm because our prior auditor was merged with another company, and for that reason they had to drop us. So we engaged a new audit firm, and we're well underway.
They seem to be doing a good job?
Yeah.
Great, great. Is there anything that you would like to say to shareholders?
Yes. At the end, I'm nothing else than a retail investor. When it comes to things like reverse stock split or a share increase, it frightens me in the same way as the community, or it frightened me in the same way. But if you look into the facts, we need these elements to stay compliant. I'm really not keen to get delisting notices on a regular basis. So from that perspective, we need to have the reverse stock split to get our share price up. We will not go extremely. If we would go to a reverse stock split where the share price goes up to $20 or something, that's just an open invitation for another period of short selling. So from that perspective, we will look, at the end, we will get the direction from our board, but we will look to keep that in a way that it makes sense, that it's reasonable, and that it allows us to be active against a future shorting so that we are not going into the same direction again. And then with the increase of shares, basically, once you understand that it's not about the number of shares, it's about the value of the company. If you look development of Tesla in the beginning, I think they had dilutions frightening everybody, but at the end, they ended up to be $1 trillion company. So from that perspective, it's, I think, what we need to do as a company, and as we are able to do that being a public company, is just to keep the knowledge and the transparency and the education going, to share what we are doing and why we are doing it. And I hope I will be advised in a way that I can continue to do that. And YT is also able to continue to do that in the way we started to do it.
I will add that the way you guys have reached out to social media recently shows how thankful you are, and shows something that is unlike anything any kind of company shows. I mean, I have not seen that with, I'm not going to name any companies, but I've never seen that. In other words, the way you guys are communicating with your investors and being transparent, active on social media. So I hope that's something that can continue on through the success of Faraday Future, and something that can elevate the company for years ahead.
I think one thing is, it fits to the nature of YT. It fits to my nature. I will not promise, but I think we can get other people from our company to be available in short videos as well, sharing what we are doing, how we progress, what our wins are, what our struggles are, and get that really to very community communication.
Yeah, we need some more pretty faces on social media.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know until I came here and met, like, they have a pretty large group of employees that are very friendly. Larry's a very, why doesn't Larry make some videos?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would be great. I didn't know he's the actual guy that delivered Chris Brown his vehicle.
Yes.
Which is pretty awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah, so we are working on getting more and more talent of the company in front of the camera. So
good stuff. Right.
Larry is a natural talent.
Yeah.
In that direction. So
you're a natural talent. What are you talking about?
Perhaps in the meantime.
So just to kind of piggyback what you're saying about the employees here, because I love everybody that I've met so far, but I noticed on the website that there's a lot of new jobs available for the Faraday Future company. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Basically, through these difficult times we have been going through, you know, we had to reduce our salaries. So we did that. We mandated it, and that leads automatically to a situation that some people are not able to sustain, and
Gotcha.
they need to move on. They're always welcome to come back as soon as we are in a better finance situation. From that perspective, we need to fill the company back up again. Again, we have this paradigm shift going from a pure development company to a normal operating company, which requires a different set of talent and expertise. If you look being late with filing and stuff like that, so we need to make sure we have a finance and accounting team which is fit for purpose.
Very important. Well, it seems like you're already working on that and doing a great job at it. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for having us here.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the Investor Day. I hope that I can make it. We'll see. If
I hope so
I
too.
can't, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that I know that are going to be here. So treat them well. I'm sure
We
you will.
definitely.
Yeah. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.